Anyone who says I believe in ghosts is completely wrong. Clearly this announcement means that I believe in ghosts. I mean, I said so. I believe in ghosts. It's right there. Taking a quote out of context, thus twisting its meaning, is called quote mining, and in addition to being a highly dishonest practice, it's a fallacy. The reasoning behind it is, premise 1, X said Y. Premise 2, taken out of context, Y means Z. Conclusion, therefore X meant Z. This is often combined with an appeal to authority to further conclude, therefore Z. This is a non sequitur at best, and it's also an outright lie when the speaker knows that the context clearly shows that X definitely did not mean Z. A classic case of quote mining, often used by creationists, is the use of this quote from Charles Darwin, found in The Origin of Species. Quote, "To suppose that the eye, with all its inimitable contrivances for adjusting the focus to different distances, for admitting different amounts of light, and for the correction of spherical and chromatic aberration, could have been formed by natural selection seems, I freely confess, absurd in the highest possible degree." Unquote. The full context reveals that Darwin was not dismissing his own theory. The quote continues, quote, "When it was first said that the sun stood still and the world turned round, the common sense of mankind declared the doctrine false. But the old saying of vox populi, vox Dei, as every philosopher knows, cannot be trusted in science. Reason tells me that if numerous gradations from a simple and imperfect eye to one complex and perfect can be shown to exist, each grade being useful to its possessor, as is certainly the case, if further the eye ever varies and the variations be inherited, as is likewise certainly the case, and if such variations could be useful to any animal under the changing conditions of life, then the difficulty of believing that a perfect and complex eye could be formed by natural selection, though insuperable by our imagination, should not be considered as subversive of the theory." Unquote. Darwin was pointing out that the fact that it seems absurd is irrelevant. It's not that hard to accept once we understand how evolution works. In other words, he was simply addressing a possible objection to his theory, and creationists are only looking at the objection, ignoring the response to it. Guess who else is guilty of quote mining? Why, Winston Wu, of course. Quote, "Nevertheless, perhaps there is yet hope for pseudo-skeptics and debunkers. Recently, a famous career skeptic named Susan Blackmore, author of Dying to Live, Near-Death Experiences, conceded that her prior conclusions about the non-existence of psi were unwarranted after all. I couldn't dismiss all those extraordinary claims out of hand. After all, they might just be true." Unquote. The mind quote comes from an article in which Blackmore announces that she's giving up as a debunker, not because she's accepted that she was being closed-minded, but because she's tired of debunking the same garbage claims that never hold up over and over again. The quote continues, quote, "And if they were, then swaths of science would have to be rewritten. Another psychic turns up, I must devise more experiments, take these claims seriously, they fail again. A man explains to me how alien abductors implanted something in his mouth, tests show it was just a filling, but it might have been... No, I don't have to think that way. And when the psychics and clairvoyants and New Agers shout at me as they do, the trouble with all you scientists is you don't have an open mind, I won't be upset. I won't argue. I won't rush off and perform yet more experiments just in case. I'll simply smile sweetly and say, I don't do that anymore." Unquote. Whenever someone uses a quote to support an argument, keep in mind that it could be a mind quote. Be prepared to look it up. Look out for mind quotes in debates where you don't have the ability to look it up. If you can't see the quote in context, you can't accept a premise that relies on it. And always look up quotes you intend to use yourself. If you can find the quote, you should be able to find its original context. If you can't, you probably shouldn't use it in an argument. Until next time, stay logical.